It's the 2K Sports pregame show.
Okay, basketball fans, with me, Kenny the Jet Smith, Shaquille O'Neal, I'm Ernie Johnson. You're watching 2K Sports, but you know that already. Tonight, we'll see the Toronto Raptors playing against the Magic in Orlando. Checking out the Magic, just one win over the last 7 games. They're not happy with how they're playing, looking to make amends tonight. So we're right around halfway through the season. Shaq, a lot of trade discussions happening. What are your keys to making a great deal?
Well, it depends on your goal. You want to win now? You want to win later? A combination of both? Does your analysis ever make changes out of emotion?
Well, acquiring players that fit your system. You have to have a system first. That's the key. And if your trade looks too good to be true, it probably is.
I meant to say, do your analysis, never make changes out of emotion.
Okay.
See, I was emotional when I was talking about it.
Well, I heard you.
I
understood it. I understood
All right.
it.
You did?
Not really, but.
Me either. And now with the tip-off, coming up shortly, it's time to send it to Kevin Harlan for the call.
We are live from Amway Center for an Eastern Conference contest with the Magic in Orlando. There's no better time of year than the holidays for NBA basketball on 2K Sports. Welcome, everyone. Kevin Harlan here, joined by our analyst, Greg Anthony, and Hall of Famer Doris Burke. Plus, reporting from the sidelines, another Hall of Famer, David Aldridge. And, of course, Stanley Johnson. And now's the time where he's getting settled during these first few games with the new team.
You know, I'm excited and somewhat anxious to see how this team is going to evolve since the trade was made. I mean, he is a guy that could end up being a key player for them as we get ready to hit that stretch run.
Settling into the new season now, Doris. Some teams really finding that groove and their rhythm. Talk about what they can do to maintain that. Sometimes it's easier to get there, but then to maintain it becomes the real chore.
Right, and that's where coaching comes into play. Guys trying to pull the right string, play the right notes with their teams. And obviously, one of the most important things you can have on a night-by-night basis is energy, consistent energy on the defensive end. If you stay in the moment, you focus on the next play. I know 82 games can be a grind, Kev, but if you break it down into smaller chunks, it becomes much more manageable.
Good idea. Here are the 5 for the Raptors. Norman Powell is out there with Lowry, and it's Marc Gasol, and it's Anunoby in at the 3, the small forward. Now here's Powell. Outside for Gasol. Hands it from downtown. Gasol's got his first bucket of the game, and he's on the board for 3.
And if he can hit that shot, it spreads the defense out and really changes the complexion of the game.
It just opens the court up so much more, and you like to see him get into a rhythm from beyond the arc.
Here's Anunoby, defended by Gordon. With the second effort, it's deflected.
The main weapon in Bamba's attack, the slender long arms he possesses, helps him block lots of shots.
Now here's Gordon. He's coming off a 16-point game against Phoenix. And the foul called on Terrence Ross. That is his first foul of the game. First quarter, about a minute and a half in. Good ball movement here by the Raptors.
The D feels like it's everywhere, and that pass should not have been made.
Ross on the wing. The Magic again can't hit.
And they had some botched coverage that turned into no coverage.
It's deflected. Stolen. Just about 2 minutes into the game, first quarter of basketball. And the basket by Lowry.
It took a lot of work for Kyle Lowry to become this dangerous from three-point land, and downtown is one terrific option among many for this guy.
Now here's Ross. He had 15 points last outing. Here's the three. Gasol kicks to Powell. Now the pass to Anunoby. Here's Siakam. 5 on the clock. It's good. He makes his first shot of the game.
And where's the help? Obviously, a missed rotation, something they're going to want to patch up.
Right, because otherwise you're going to give up those close range opportunities all night. If you allow the opposition to get into a groove, look out.
And it'll be Orlando with their first time out of the game right here. Last game matchup with the Suns, a tough loss there.
Yeah, they gave up in that one. The defense constantly breaking down way too many times.
I think there has to be better communication. All 5 guys tied together, and what happened to them is what happens when you play lackluster defense.
Fournier is checked in for Ross. To halt the run, and the call on the shot that sends him to the line. And Doris, last year, another season where Evan Fournier continued to improve his scoring.
Well, it's really been amazing to watch this guy refine his game over the last several years. Very judicious with the shots he takes. Not going to wow you too often, but a very consistent contributor.
And that one falls for Fournier.
You think about the Orlando Magic and how difficult things were from a rebounding perspective last year. Dead last in defensive rebounding percentage. Listen, if you can't close out possessions, you are digging your own grave in the NBA.
Both good from the line that time. And Doris, when you look at the Magic roster, you think they'd be better at rebounding.
Well, I think, Kevin, a lot of people assume when you have big bodies that rebounding necessarily follows. The reality is there's an art to rebounding the basketball, and there were struggles across the board for this team. Let's make no mistake. Whether it was offensively, whether it was the rebounding that you made note of, there are a lot of areas that this team and organization needs to address.
There's Siakam. Over Aminu. Siakam misses.
He does everything right except drain the shot.
Down low. Aminu with the bucket. Aminu's got his first bucket in this one.
Well, we know this. Fournier is a multi-position guy, and how adept was that pass? Really nice.
Lowry against Augustine. Lowry deciding where to go with it here. Pass to Powell. Shoots over Fournier. The shot by Powell, no good. Orlando, they've gone 2 for 4 from the field so far today. Inside, Gasol with the steal. Nice shot there by Bamba.
And the closer to the basket Bamba is, the more effective he is. Outstanding at using his size inside.
Now, here's Lowry. He had 16 points in the win against the Heat in Miami. Pass to Anunoby. Here's Siakam. Buries it from three-point range. Siakam's got 5 points so far.
Just a little confusion among the D as to who was supposed to be on it.
And Fournier kicks to Gordon. Back to Fournier. He's looking for Gordon and finds him. That one goes in.
Well, I love the concentration. Simply stated, when Aaron Gordon is this locked in, he is very difficult to deal with.
Augustine with the steal. And now Augustine pushing it up. No one back to stop him. And they take the lead. Now here is Lowry. He's been a nice option for them offensively, and he's averaging more than 17 points a game. And it's out of bounds. The Raptors able to retain possession here. And the Raptors with some changes. Ibaka comes in for OG Anunoby. And it's Fred VanVleet in for Powell. And Bamba comes to help. Stolen by Gordon. And Augustine kicks to Gordon. Aminu against Ibaka. Aminu, the pass to Augustine. Fires for three. That's his second shot and his second basket. He's 2 for 2.
Nice shot, squaring up from long range, drilling the three. That'll put some pressure on you.
Poked loose. And up the court come the Magic on the break. Gordon's running, and then Gordon with the dunk.
Well, the activity of Aaron Gordon, so solid at reading the opposition and taking his chances.
Raptors trail by 6. Outside Lowry. Will it go? Out of bounds. Orlando takes possession. Well, we like to keep you up to date on the fresh talent in the league, so let's check in on the rookie block leaders. Number 1, Mohamed Bamba.
Well, he has clearly established himself as the premier rim protector in this year's rookie class.
Time called here. The Magic decide to talk it over.
When you watch Kyle Lowry play, you see how much bigger he is than his stats. Does so many little things on both ends of the floor. I mean, he's a great screen setter, takes charges, all the things that don't necessarily show up in the stat sheet, but are important when it comes to winning.
So Orlando going with an almost entirely new group here. Mozgov, he's checked in for Bamba. Ken Birch comes in for Al-Farouq Aminu. Isaac's checked in for Aaron Gordon. And Markelle Fultz is subbed in for Augustine. And then for Toronto, Andre Hollis-Jefferson, he's checked in for Gasol. Stanley Johnson comes in for Pascal Siakam. And it's Payne in for Kyle Lowry. And Greg, with Lowry, it isn't like he's quiet on the stat sheet either.
Yeah, he is a bulldog. I mean, scores it, the playmaking. He's just complete in terms of a backcourt player. Rebounds as well as anybody for his position, and got good hands on defense. It just gives you a little bit of everything at that point guard position.
Payne, and off the left side of the rim, and it swirls in for him. Payne's got his first bucket of the night. Here's Orlando now. They're on a 17-5 run here. All right, now let's find out what head coach Nick Nurse had to say to David Aldridge. David.
Well, Kevin, they have a specific approach to tonight's game. He told me they have to get the ball into the paint as much as possible and take advantage of what they believe is a big edge for them inside. We'll see if they're right about that tonight. Back to you.
Thank you, David. Now here's Johnson. Rebounded by Isaac.
Boy, a kick-out's probably a better option when the defense is swarming around like that.
Mozgov kicks to Birch. That three off the mark. It's Payne with the ball. He'll bring it up for the Toronto Raptors. 6-point game. They come in fresh off a win against the Heat.
And anytime you come off the bench, you know your role. And that night, it was about scoring.
Well, there's no doubt. They were sharp on the offensive end. The bench guys just did a sensational job bringing their A game.
Now, here's Isaac. He's averaging just around 8.5 points a game. The shot by Birch, no good.
Well, that's tough defense in the paint, harassing him every step of the way.
And there's the feed to Johnson. Isaac with the steal. Throws it up high. It's stolen by Ibaka. Here's VanVleet. He's guarded by Fournier. Shot's good by Ibaka. Now just a 2-point Magic lead.
Yeah, boy, it never gets old watching this guy go to work at the offensive end. He's so gifted.
Mozgov against Ibaka. Here's Isaac over Johnson. And the basket by Isaac.
Well, I like seeing Jonathan Isaac work in the mid-range. This guy is demonstrating the touch to score from there.
Here's VanVleet. He's guarded by Fournier. VanVleet passes to Hollis-Jefferson. No problems knocking that one down.
Boy, nice team basketball being played right there. You see the open man, and you deliver the ball right away.
Fultz with the ball. He's coming off a 10-point game against Phoenix.
And his passing was simply amazing. A lot of fun to watch.
Toronto's gone 3 of 5 from three-point land so far in the ballgame. It's stolen by Fultz. Fournier into the lane. Up again. Great positioning on the putback. And the Magic lead by 4.
Oh, great timing. He is one tough customer on that offensive glass.
You know, it's like he has a sixth sense of where that rebound is going. So, timeout called here, the first for Toronto. Their last meeting was in Orlando, where they were unable to fight off the Magic.
And they'll want to show that they're a much better team than they demonstrated last time out against these guys. At the very least, avoid another blowout.
Well, so many of their problems stem from turnovers. They simply could not take care of the ball, and it cost them in that matchup.
Terrence Ross is checked in for the Magic.
And let's see the stat sheet on Terrence Ross. A strong stretch of play the last 10 games. He's putting up 13 points a game, 3 assists, and 3 rebounds. And this is the kind of strong, steady play you like to see. He's earning his keep and helping them win games.
I think they need more consistency from him, and they're getting it. Look for this to continue. I love it.
Van Vliet passes to Hollis Jefferson. Count that one.
You call that power basketball by Hollis Jefferson. He's willing to go right through the foul.
And you have to love the way Hollis Jefferson plays on the defensive end. So active with his length and can disrupt an offense single-handedly. The team is visibly better on defense with Hollis Jefferson on the floor.
Mind the lanes. Mind the lanes. One shot.
On the free throw, no good. And with Hollis Jefferson in his defense, he's not only strong, but he's versatile with whom he can guard.
Yeah, I mean, RHJ has great length, and at 6'7", he can guard almost every position on the floor. Strong on the glass, even though he's often undersized in his matchup. RHJ is anything but an average player. I really love how effective he's become on both ends.
Ross kicks to Isaac. Pass to Fultz. 17-foot shot on the way. Misses that one. He's 0 for 1 from the floor. Down low. Count that one from Van Vliet. Van Vliet's got 5 points so far.
And this has been a great job of just getting into the middle of that defense and really scoring effectively from the paint.
Now here's Mozgov. Still looking for his first bucket in this one. Here's Isaac. And nothing is falling for him right now. Raptors leading by 3. Johnson, the pass to Van Vliet. Rebound by the Magic.
Well, it looks like he's going to get the easy 2 points, but the defense recovers just in time to affect it.
And the call on the shot that sends him to the line. Terrence Ross, Doris, one of the more athletic wingmen in the league.
Right, Kevin. This guy's got great reach and frame for the position he plays, and he's always been able to dazzle at times, but he can also disappear. So this guy has got to find that ability to get involved and stay active.
That free throw good from Ross. One thing you have to admire, Doris, about the Raptors franchise is their sustained success.
And that's not easy, Kevin. Last year marked their 3rd straight 50-win season and their 5th straight postseason trip. Very few other teams can claim those items in that time frame. Boy, the Raptors, what a good, solid core.
And both free throws good for Ross. Not a lot to be happy about with the Magic last season, but they did see some improvement in some of their players.
You know what, Kevin? I think you saw Aaron Gordon make a big leap, and I don't think he was alone. Guys like Evan Fournier and other wings also continue to develop their games. If there was one silver lining for a very difficult season, that would have to be it.
Clock is at 3. From deep. Payne can't hit. One-on-one fast break. 7-second difference. Shot and game clock. Stolen. Fast break. Here we go. Tries it from 19. It's hauled in by the Magic.
Hey, we're not seeing the best quarter by this guy, and he's lost his feel a little bit.
The Magic have looked good at the line tonight. They're perfect in 4 attempts.
And I think this is a strength of this team. Solid numbers at the line across the board, 77% collectively.
And that one misses.
You know, early on, Jonathan Isaac has drawn some comparisons to Kevin Durant. This is a long, athletic, multi-talented forward. He's got tremendous potential.
Good on the second free throw. Here's Lowry. Down low. And it goes out of bounds. Last touch by Lowry.
Well, that's just taking your eyes off the target before releasing the pass. Very careless.
And here's Fultz for 3. Ross. That shot missing. It's all tied in Orlando. We'll get right back to the action when we return. Marc Gasol so appreciated by his fans, and certainly a lot of Spanish-speaking fans excited about his success.
It's just fun. You see more fans on the stands that speak Spanish, even they're from Spain or Argentina, Mexico, whatever they're from. They support the Spanish-speaking people, and they love the game also.
And great to see so many different cultures and countries embrace the game.
Yes, and with players like Gasol having so much success, I think it helps give those Latino and Spanish-speaking fans a connection to the NBA.
And some good action in the books as we get back to the game that's been pretty close here so far. And guys, for the Magic, what jumps out to you so far, numbers-wise?
For me, that defense in the first period, just tremendous shot blocking.
They have smothered every opportunity, it feels like. The other team has got to be nervous on field goal attempts.
They've got Bamba. Markelle Fultz out there with Terrence Ross. Then there's Al Farouk Aminu, and it's Gordon in at the 3. So that's the lineup on the floor for the Magic. Count it, good. And here's Lowry. He'll bring it up for the Toronto Raptors. They'll be playing host to Chicago for their next game. That game marks the first half of a quick 2-game homestand. Gasol passes to Siakam, and they pick up 2. Siakam's got it all tied up now for the Raptors.
I don't think the pass could be better placed. That's a great assist.
Time called here. The Magic decide to talk it over. You know, Doris, certain guards just have a knack for scoring in the post. When you think of that list, I'm sure there are a couple right at the top that come to mind.
Yeah, well, who don't you want to deal with in the low post out of the guard position? I'll give you one. Dwayne Wade. If he's on the post with a back-down dribble that he can use to his advantage, turn the lights out. Here's another guy, Sean Livingston. Unbelievable length, plays at his own pace. Both guys are nightmares in the post. Good luck checking either one.
The Magic making a switch here. Augustine's checked in. Here's Gordon. And misses it off the right side of the rim. Toronto's gotten a success rate of just over 50% from three-point tonight. 4 of 7 shooting. The Magic have gotten only one of their first 4 shots in the second quarter to drop. To the paint, it's tipped. An even 3-on-3 break. Here's Powell. It's good. Powell's got his first 2 points of the night.
Put it on the deck, get by the defender. Norman Powell on the dribble drive. Okay, I see you.
And Augustine kicks to Gordon. And we're about 2 minutes into the second quarter here. Good ball movement here by the Magic. Ross, just 4 to shoot. Got a piece of it. Now the Raptors moving it up. A shot by Lowry. Wide open. Wasted no time on that shot, but it's off the mark.
On a pretty good day for them so far, his shooting has been one of the tough spots.
And it's Mohamed Bamba with the foul. That is his first foul of the game. Quarter 2 and just under 2.5 minutes gone by. Lowry kicks to Siakam. They get a hand on it. Here's Anunoby, defended by Gordon. 6 on the shot clock. Gasol, no good. Orlando trailing here. To the inside. Here's Bamba. Unable to get that one. Some solid defense from Gasol. The pass to Siakam. Back to Anunoby. Right side Lowry. Toronto needs to get off a shot. Gasol, good on the 13-footer. Gasol's got 5.
That's their 3rd straight make off an assist.
To the middle. And a little under 3.5 minutes elapsed in the second quarter of play. And Lowry gets it to go.
Timely passing leads to assists, and that's been the recipe for success.
And Augustine kicks to Aminu. Now here's Gordon. He's covered closely. Count that bucket. 6 points for Mohamed Bamba.
That's how it's done, gentlemen. You don't pass to a player, you pass to a spot. Let your teammate run into it.
Now here's Powell. He's guarded by Ross. Outside Lowry. Down to 5 on the shot clock. Lets it go from deep. And again, Toronto with the triple.
Boy, he's putting pressure on the defense. That's 2 from downtown this period.
The Magic trail by 8. Augustine with it. Lowry picks him up. Augustine, that's good. 7 points in the game.
Boy, he's able to get to the hoop, Kev, because of that great solid screen.
Lowry against Augustine. Lowry finds Gasol. That falls. Nice feed that time from Kyle Lowry. Gasol's got the lead. Back up to 8 now for Toronto. And keeping us updated from the sideline, let's swing it over to David Aldridge.
Well, guys, Kyle Lowry is a player who has worked his way to stardom. He says, I still feel like I can be better. I'm never satisfied. My team is good, but I think the best I can be is a champion. There is no other goal in basketball. Guys?
D.A., that's how you truly create a legacy. Here's Lowry. Following the score by Aaron Gordon. Pass to Gasol. Here's the 3. Looks good. Is good. Bucket number 4 from the field. He's taken only 6 shots.
Boy, Kyle Lowry can be so creative sometimes. You think the window's too tight, but he finds a way.
Ross dishes to Bamba. Marc Gasol picks up the foul. That is his first foul of the game. And the Magic making a change here. Fournier is checked in. Andre Hollis-Jefferson, he's checked in for the Raptors. Fred VanVleet comes in for Norman Powell. Shot is good, and the Toronto lead is cut down now to just 7 on the basket from Fournier. Toronto, they've gone 7 of 11 from the field in the second quarter. Lowry kicks to Gasol. Tries from 10. Aminu grabs the miss.
Well, I wouldn't say the D was exceptional, but it certainly was enough to bother him.
Augustine passes to Bamba. And the dunk by Bamba.
And how about the 9'6" standing reach Bamba has? I mean, it's unguardable this close. Dunks it with such ease. And with Mohamed Bamba, one of the first things you notice is that 7'9" wingspan. I mean, yeah, he's got to add more muscle on that frame, but he can use that reach already to make an impact at both ends.
Here's VanVleet. He's got 5. He gets it in there.
They've settled into a nice groove offensively here in the second.
Here's Augustine bringing it up now for the Magic. tipped away. Here's Bamba. 2 free throws coming up, and they call the shooting foul. And with Bamba, in addition to his crazy length, you also get a player who's extremely smart.
How about getting scholarship offers from Ivy League schools, including Harvard? You can see him thinking on the court. He's deliberate in the things that he does. Bright, bright future ahead for him.
And he knocks down the first one.
The raw talent Bamba has, just so impressive. A shot blocking specialist who also makes an impact on the offensive end.
Catching up on the changes for Orlando. Mozgov, he's checked in for Aminu. Isaac comes in for Aaron Gordon, and it's Fulton for Augustine. Raptors also changing it up. Serge Ibaka has checked in for Gasol. Johnson comes in for Pascal Siakam, and Cameron Payne subbed in for Kyle Lowry. Now here is Ibaka. He's coming off a 16-point game against the Heat in Miami. And this Toronto team has started to depend on threes more often for their offense.
You're right, Kevin. They went from being near the bottom of the league in threes attempted to top 5 in attempts this past year. And a lot of that is the green light to shoot from the wings that they have. It's another dynamic to an already potent scoring machine.
Shooting 2.
And he can't get the first one. Ken Burch is checked in for Bamba. And the second free throw, good. This Orlando Magic team, one that isn't expected to compete just yet, still in the midst of collecting talent.
Well, Kevin, I don't know if you want to call it a rebuild or a reset for this franchise, but there is some youth to build around. They're getting some good talent. Obviously, they were hoping to jump into the top 3 in last year's draft. This is going to take some time, and the fan base has got to be patient.
Toronto leading by 4. Passes it to Van Vliet. Now here's Payne, guarded by Fultz. Payne finds Johnson. Just 5 on the clock. No good off the front iron. The Magic have gotten 7 of their 12 field goal attempts to drop here in the second quarter. Up over 50%. Inside, knocks it loose. Fast break Toronto. Johnson's got the ball. Count that one. And the Raptors lead by 6. Guys, we've seen a lot of turnovers in this one.
Yeah, focus, focus, focus. Just make the simple play.
Now, here's Fournier. 11 points for him in that last game against Phoenix.
And he was aggressive in how he played on the defensive side of the floor, notching 3 steals on the game.
Toronto's gone 3 of 4 with the long-range bombs here in the second quarter. Now here's Payne. He's guarded by Fournier, and the shot goes down.
Absolutely fearless. I mean, a nice subtle adjustment there going up against length.
And to me, that's all about the body control, right, Greg? I mean, he does such a stellar job sizing up his man and drains it despite having the size on him.
Impressed with his decision-making in these sets. Isaac knows where to roll to after setting that screen.
Here's Fournier. Lays it up off the glass. And now just a 2-point Toronto lead.
And guys, they continue to put a lot of pressure on the interior defenders with their work down low.
Hollis Jefferson passes to Ibaka. It's good. Ibaka's got 6 points.
And Ibaka does a little bit of everything, including rolling quickly after setting that screen.
Out left to the wing. Now here's Fultz. Defense right on him. 6 to shoot. Here's Fournier. And they call the foul, so he's got the and one chance here to make it a 3-point play.
That's the 10th straight point they've given up in the paint.
And when you look at Evan Fournier, he's just a reliable source for points whenever he's on the floor.
Yeah, and Fournier is a bit of a quiet scorer. I mean, he always ends up with a lot of points, but doesn't tend to wow you with any individual plays. Terrific shooter who just makes the most of his touches and his minutes whenever he's on the floor.
That one misses for Fournier. Doris, when you talk about coaching, aside from wins and losses, how can you gauge if a coach is doing a good job?
Well, you make a great point, Kevin, because if an organization is in a rebuild situation, then winning is almost impossible because you're outgunned and outmanned every single night. So to evaluate those coaches, here are the things I would look at. One, are you maximizing the talent at your disposal? Are your player development skills at such a degree that you're seeing incremental improvement from the guys on your roster? And then ultimately, Kevin, are guys playing hard? Are they competitive every night? Even if the wins don't necessarily show in the box score and at the end of the, the regular season, the reality is, are you playing hard? Are you competitive?
And so here's Orlando. After the Raptors pick up 2, Fultz kicks to Fournier. Here's Isaac. Kept alive Orlando. Mozgov against Ibaka. Another shot. And contact on the shot, so he'll be shooting free throws here.
And here's a look at some numbers for Jonathan Isaac. How last month turned out for him. He's averaging 8 points, 3 rebounds, and 3 assists. And those numbers, solid, not spectacular. And sometimes what you see is what you get.
There's no doubt. This is a guy who understands his role, knows he's got to give you quality minutes, and that's what they expect from him.
That's good for Mozgov.
Well, think about the Toronto Raptors last year. 59 wins in the regular season, which was a franchise high. Won the Atlantic for the 4th time in 5 years, and then it comes to an end with a thud, losing to the Cavaliers in the playoffs. Brutal.
Miller's checked in for Toronto. Mozgov hits them both. And for the Raptors, swept by the Cavs in the postseason, Doris, for the 2nd consecutive year.
It's getting painful. Swept twice, defeated for the 3rd straight time by the same team. And you think about the Raptors, a team that geared up and changed things to try to avoid it, and it still happens. That's a tough pill to swallow. I'll tell you, he turns a difficult situation of duress into a simple basket with a precision pass out of the double team.
Fultz the pass to Mozgov. Over Ibaka. Second chance shot. Inside shot. And there's the foul on the shot. He'll go to the line for 2. And the foul goes against Toronto.
You know, when you have the size that Mozgov has, you have to invite contact every time you touch the ball.
This is his 2nd trip to the free throw line.
And at the line last year, he was good on about 77% of his attempts.
And the first one drops.
One thing you have to consider if you're the Orlando Magic is finding some level of consistency. And I mean that both in terms of the roster and the coaching staff. To me, when there's a lot of turnover in both of these departments, it can take its toll on an organization, and we've seen that with Orlando.
Frazier, he's checked in for the Magic, and he can't hit the second.
And just a much better job of attacking and getting to the line here in the 2nd quarter. Didn't have a single attempt in the 1st.
And the call will be against Fournier. That'll be his 2nd foul of the game. The Magic making a switch here. Owundu's checked in. Powell with it. Defended now by Fournier. Ibaka finds Hollis Jefferson. The shot, no good. Excellent D there from Mozgov. Orlando's gone 0-3 from beyond the arc to 2nd quarter. Outside Fournier. Shoots the 3. That's good. He's 5 for 9.
I tell you, get the feeling he's only going to get better as this game wears on. That first quarter was good. His second quarter has been great.
Here's Van Vliet. He's got 8. Here's Hollis Jefferson. Mozgov grabs the board. Mozgov's got 6 rebounds in the game. He can't hit that time. And now let's catch up with David Aldridge, who's standing by from the sideline. All right, Dave.
Kevin, thank you. Aaron, you all have played at a high level so far. What has worked for you?
We're just sticking to the game plan. You know, our coaches really drew up something good for us. You know, they wrote it out, and we're sticking to it, and we're executing very well.
Yeah, that's obvious the way you all have played. Thanks for your time. Back to you, Kevin.
All right, Dave, thank you. And time now for the halftime break with the third quarter soon to follow right here on 2K Sports.
It's the 2K Sports Halftime Show.
Hey, it's good to have you back. You're watching the 2K Sports Halftime Show. This right here is Kenny the Jet Smith. This right here is Shaquille O'Neal. Me, I'm just Ernie. Evan Fournier led the way in the first half. He had 13 points, 2 assists, and 2 steals. What did you think, Kenny, about what we saw from the Magic?
Well, I thought that turning point was when the bench came in. Those guys really hustled, and they gave the team some energy, and then they started to score baskets. That was a bonus.
Shaq, what was your takeaway on Toronto?
Well, they had a strong perimeter game. See, Ernie, when this team executes from long range, those weapons spread out of defense. Coming out in the second half, if those shooters are hot, they got a great chance to take control of this game.
And that'll about do it as we get ready for the second half. Let's take you down to Kevin Harlan.
Shout out to my man Joel.
Joel, what up?
Second half of basketball upon us. We may be in for an exciting finish based on how close of a game that's been so far. Nice game. Great performance by Evan Fournier.
And how disruptive was he in that first half? I mean, creating havoc, causing turnovers, and really energizing his team.
Well, didn't you get the sense, Greg, that this entire team fed off his energy? His remarkable effort on the defensive end really triggered this group.
And we're halfway through this one. Plenty of basketball left in a game that's been fairly even so far. Here's Augustine bringing it up now for Orlando. The lead is 2. All fueled up and ready to go. Let's reset the lineups courtesy of Gatorade for the second half of basketball. So the Raptors 5 right now. They've got Lowry. He's out there with Norman Powell. Marc Gasol is out there with Anunoby. And it's Siakam in at the 4. Here's Lowry. After the basket by Timothy Mozgov. Lowry drives in. No good from 11 feet.
The game has been very close in a lot of areas, but rebounding has been the one differentiator thus far.
To the paint, Gasol with the steal. Here's Anunoby, and it's blocked by Gordon.
How about the timing of Aaron Gordon? This guy has got the ability to rise up and send it back. Well, an 0 for 3 start to the second half. They're going to have to start tightening things up on the offensive end.
Now here's Ross. Oh, and they get in the way of the alley-oop. Not to be. Good play defensively. Here's Powell. Outside for Lowry. Here's Gasol. It's hauled in by Gordon. Magic leading by 4. Pass to Bamba. Orlando moving the ball around. Count that bucket. And that's now 9 points for Timothy Mozgov.
Now, Mozgov is tall, no doubt, but he knows how to get a shot up and out of his hands in a hurry if he has to.
They've been struggling here on offense.
Yeah, a bit of a dry spell for sure.
Top of the key, Siakam. The pass to Anunoby. Pocket 6. Outside Lowry. Over Gordon. Lowry's shot is good. Lowry's got 11 points.
Well, his ball handling ability is well known, and Lowry shows him off there.
Pass to Ross. He kicks to Mozgov. And the foul called on OG Anunoby. That'll be his second foul of the game. Al-Farouq Aminu. He's checked in for Orlando. Well, after the Raptors fell short of their goals last season, you knew they were going to be changing some things up.
Well, obviously the first big move was moving on from Dwayne Casey as the head coach. And you think about Dwayne had brought the best years this franchise had seen, and they still felt it was time for a shift. Now, it's not necessarily his blame. Sometimes you just need to hear a new voice when you've ended in the playoffs the way they have over the last several years.
And the first one at the line is good. That misses, so he splits the free throws. Raptors trail by 5. Not quite 2.5 minutes played here in the second half. Lowry kicks to Siakam. Three-pointer. Lowry can't get it to go.
I'll tell you, his inconsistency not helping their cause at all.
All right, let's catch up with our sideline reporter, David Aldridge.
Well, guys, the Orlando Magic has struggled to find difference-making players in the draft or in free agency. Their goal is to get younger but get better at the same time. And it's difficult to do even in the Eastern Conference, but Orlando is determined to get this right. Kevin?
And the journey continues for them and a lot of teams. DA, thank you.
Take a break. Take a break. 2 shots.
The first one falls. We saw Gordon making big strides in his game last season, Doris, and it started with his shooting.
Well, specifically his long-range shooting, right, Kev? Because the 3 started to fall, and then that opened up other scoring options for him. Boy, it really seemed to come together for this guy, a rising star in just 1 year.
And Gordon drops them both.
To me, Aaron Gordon has all the tools you'd want from a player on the rise. Very good establishing chemistry with his teammates, and all the necessary attributes are there to take a big jump.
And the Raptors call time here.
Well, sometimes it just takes an opportunity in the NBA, and Aaron Gordon has made the most of it. Since taking over that power forward role full-time, he has shown remarkable improvement. Plays with more confidence and aggression on offense and has transformed himself as a player.
Now here is Lowry. He's got 11. Here's Gasol. And the shot is long.
And they continue to control the glass.
And he could not get that one to go. A lot of contact, and he'll go to the line for 2. And for Gordon, in his first full season as a starter, he instantly became a star in the league.
And when he was taken 4th overall, this was the type of player the team was hoping he'd become. His outside shot has improved by leaps and bounds and always plays with speed and athleticism. And now I think he's got a much more fully rounded game, which makes him dangerous.
That one is no good. Raptors trail by 8. To the inside from 13. Good as the jump shot falls.
Well, on the catch and shoot, Norman Powell ready to rise and fire.
To the middle. And then Gordon with the dunk.
And really the story of the half. One team shooting it lights out. The other, the lights are just out.
Yeah, that's right. You said it. They don't find a way to switch it back on. They're in trouble.
Here's Powell. After the Magic pick up 2. And 2 free throws coming up, unable to get that one to go with all the contact. It goes on Mohamed Bamba.
See, the athleticism of Norman Powell is a problem. This guy understands how to get defenders committed to him.
The Raptors shooting their 4th and 5th attempts at the free throw line tonight.
And they've had really good numbers all season from the free throw line.
The free throw drops for Powell.
Well, one thing there's no question about is that Norman Powell is a gifted athlete. Now it's about rounding out that game, particularly his shooting.
Markelle Fultz is checked in for Augustine. Second half here. We're just over 3.5 minutes into it. Now here's Fultz. Now recovering. Fultz, the pass to Aminu. The basket good off the assist from Fultz. Aminu's got the lead up to 8 now for Orlando. And here's Lowry. He'll bring it up for the Raptors. It's stolen by Fultz. And finished off by Fultz.
And the speed of Fultz is leaping. When he has a full head of steam, he's looking to tear the rim off the hinges.
Now here's Lowry. He's got 11. Passes it to Siakam. Here's Anunoby. He's covered by Aminu. Anunoby kicks to Gasol. Just 5 to shoot. Pulls up from the corner. That shot misses. And Orlando will come the other way.
And with the success they've had rebounding the basketball, they're right where you'd expect them to be, firmly in the driver's seat. And there's a pattern starting to take shape here. They're working it inside and getting good shots from close range.
Here's Lowry. Following the score by Mohamed Bamba. It's Powell on the wing. Toronto working the ball around now. Here's Anunoby, defended by Gordon.
And the penetrating ability of Anunoby, confident when it comes to attacking the defense.
Now here's Ross, guarded by Powell. Ross passes to Fultz, kicks it to Gordon. Ross on the wing, guarded by Powell. And he hits it and gets hacked on the play. A three-point possibility if he can convert the free throw.
Yeah, they're going to have a nice little run here.
Some changes for Toronto. Serge Ibaka has checked in for OG Anunoby, and it's Fred VanVleet in for Powell.
One shot, gentlemen.
Well, Steve Clifford takes over here in Orlando, and of course he is known for his frankness and his disciplined approach to the game. You think about Clifford's teams, they rarely make unforced errors and are some of the best at minimizing their own mistakes.
Fournier's checked in for Ross. The Raptors also with a sub. Hollis Jefferson's checked in for Marc Gasol. Right side Lowry. Pass to Hollis Jefferson. Here's Siakam. On the pass to VanVleet. Three-pointer. Rebound by the Magic. Aminu's got rebound number 5 here tonight. And for Clifford, his job in Orlando, Doris, will be to develop the skills of his very young core.
That is correct, and he'll try to get this young group to play intelligently, minimize turnovers. You remember he once famously said the NBA isn't about winning, it's about winning in the playoffs.
Toronto calls timeout.
And they're committing an awful lot of fouls here, and not of the good variety. You don't want to give up easy layups, sure, but it's been a non-stop parade to the foul line.
And Orlando making a change here. Isaac's checked in. And it's out of bounds. The Raptors able to retain possession here. Pass to Ibaka. Here's Hollis Jefferson.
You see, the combination of size, mobility, athleticism gives Aaron Gordon the necessary attributes to be an excellent defender.
Isaac kicks to Gordon. Knocked loose. Out of bounds. Magic ball as Orlando keeps possession.
And a moment now to look at the stats for Aminu. He's one of the standouts over the last month.
He's averaging 10 points a game, 6 rebounds, and 3 assists.
And this is the kind of strong, steady play you like to see. He's earning his keep and helping them win games.
I think they need more consistency from him, and they're getting it. Look for this to continue. I love it.
Whoops, there's the 24-second shot clock violation, so they'll turn it over. Raptors trail by 16. Passes to Siakam. Gordon against Lowry. Back to Siakam. The three ball. That falls. Nice feed that time from Kyle Lowry. Lowry's got 4 assists now tonight. And here's Fournier. He brings it up for Orlando. At one point, they led by 16. Poked away. Outside Lowry. And the Raptors hit again from deep.
Knocks that one down. 4 triples for the night. 3 in the first half.
Now here's Fultz. He's guarded closely. Inside, Aminu. And it's Toronto with the rebound.
Those are chances almost always you can rely on him to get you 2 points, but the D just enough to keep him out of rhythm.
I tell you, never misses a chance to drop a dime. As usual, Lowry 1 step ahead of everyone, setting up the bucket.
Here are the Magic now, after Toronto picking up the basket just moments ago. Aminu, the pass to Fultz. On the wing, Gordon. And a little luck that time, but it drops. Gordon's got 12 in the game.
Now, I think they'll keep going to him more and more as they look to hang on to their lead. Why not with the way this guy is shooting it?
Van Vliet looking around. Lowry passes to Siakam. That one is good again. He's 6 for 8 from the floor with the basket. Time called here. The Magic decide to talk it over. In addition to going over the game plan and making whatever necessary adjustments have to be made, Greg, this timeout also the time for players to get rehydrated or hydrate for the first time with some Gatorade. Plenty of basketball still to be played here, and they have to get recharged.
That's a great point. Without proper hydration, a player can completely run out of gas down the stretch of a game. And that's something that none of these guys can afford to have happen. If you're going to battle all the way to the finish, you have got to be hydrated.
Here's Fournier. The Raptors getting the bucket. He kicks it to Gordon. And too much time in the lane. They get called for the 3-second violation. And the Eastern Conference has been fun to watch. A lot of focus as always this year. And as we hit the midseason surge, let's check out the standings and how they're shaping up. Taking a look at Toronto. They're 4th in the conference and looking to make a move the latter part of the season. And of course, Orlando, 9.5 games behind.
And for the Raptors, they've done a good job staying relevant this season. I mean, I was concerned they'd suffer a drop-off, but just give them credit. They've hung in here in this playoff race.
The resiliency has been crucial for this team. Anytime it looks like they may start to drag a little bit, they've picked it back up and stayed in the hunt.
And the Raptors with the ball, following Evan Fournier's 3. Up it goes, and the Magic lead is cut down now to just 9 in the basket from Serge Ibaka.
Well, we've seen that movie a few times, haven't we? An easy bucket in the paint. You know, and Serge Ibaka, a player who kind of came into the league as a defensive stopper, shot blocker. You know, still has great length and can bother shots, but not the prolific shot blocker he once was, as the focus has become more on the offensive end.
That free throw good from Fultz. And with Ibaka at one point would average almost 4 blocks a game.
Yeah, I mean, it is hard for any player to maintain a pace that high at this stage. Ibaka's done well to adjust, I think, his capabilities and make sure he can still have an impact on defense. The block numbers won't ever be as gaudy as they once were, but he is still causing problems for shooters.
Raptors trail by 11. Van Vliet kicks to Ibaka. Here's Van Vliet, guarded by Fultz. They get the rebound, and a lot of contact on that one, so he'll shoot 2 here. Well, there have been a few small forwards helping their teams in all sorts of ways, like this group, leading the position in rebounding the last 10 games. Aaron Gordon, number 1.
There are plenty of above-average rebounders at his position, but he is way above average.
Free throw good, Ibaka.
Well, what you love about Serge Ibaka, yes, he has tremendous size and reach and great athleticism, but he plays his role to a T.
No good on the second, so he hits 1 of 2.
The edge on the glass is the difference. It's allowed them to build this lead.
Toronto's gone a less than productive 2 of 6 from three-point land in the second half. Lowry from outside. Orlando grabs the miss. Gordon's got his 4th rebound in this one. Here's Fultz. The shot misses, and it's the Raptors taking it the other way. A clear look for Lowry, and the Raptors miss again.
Well, you don't get much more wide open inside the arc. He simply got to make that shot.
Isaac. A three-pointer, no good. And it's Lowry with the ball, brings it up for the Raptors, trailing by 10. The Magic making a switch here. Augustine's checked in. There's 1:54 left to play here in the third. The Raptors have missed a few free throws up to this point, shooting 4 of 7 from the foul line tonight. He's off on the first.
Well, let's remember, this guy was part of Team USA that went on to win gold in Rio. And if you remember, Coach K called Lowry the team's unsung hero. Very high praise for Kyle.
And he sinks the second.
Yeah, I like that they haven't lost their aggressiveness here in the second, despite being down.
Now here's Fultz. He's tightly guarded. Here's Fournier, and it's good off the back rim and in. Fournier's got 21 in the game.
Evan Fournier, the rise and fire despite the contest. That's nice.
Mozgov with the block. Fast break. Here come the Magic. Isaac with the ball. And Fultz gets it to go.
Yeah, sprinting end to end, but under control. That's the key.
No, exactly right, Greg. You can't go too fast. He pulled that off in brilliant fashion.
Here's Van Vliet. 8 points for him. Over Augustine. Will not go. This is off the front iron.
Yeah, and they've shown effort and aggression in the paint, really right from the tip. Their rebounding edge right now, massive.
Michael Carter-Williams checked in for Orlando. And Toronto also making a switch. Gasol's checked in. And 1:01 left in the third quarter. Here's Van Vliet, guarded by Augustine. Van Vliet kicks to Lowry. No good with the triple.
And he has been ice cold from beyond the arc here since halftime, and he continues yet to fire away. He has got to tone it down if he wants to help his team.
Well, Mozgov's a big target now. As soon as you leave him as a defender, he'll finish an alley-oop on you.
And that was an unleashed chaos moment indeed. What a spectacular play, sponsored by Under Armour Hover Havoc. Hollis Jefferson, good on the bucket. Hollis Jefferson's got 6. 30 seconds left here in the third quarter. Now here's Fournier, T right on him, and there's the foul. It goes on Serge Ibaka. That's his 3rd foul so far. Bonus situation in effect, so we'll head to the free throw line for 2. And that one falls for Fournier.
You get a little glimpse into the mindset of Evan Fournier. This guy will do whatever it takes to win.
Here's what Orlando's going with right now. Bamba comes in for Isaac, and it's Ross in for Carter-Williams. Anunoby, he's checked in for Toronto. Norman Powell comes in for Fred Van Vliet. And so Fournier nails both of them. Raptors trail by 15. They've been looking out of sync offensively.
Yeah, their offense has ground to a standstill.
Lowry against Ross. Lowry kicks to Gasol. And Gasol slams it in.
Yeah, and it doesn't take much elevation for Gasol to throw one down, of course, unless somebody's standing right in his way. That dunk is going to be easy money for him.
And as we end the third quarter, a double-digit deficit will make it tough to come back. It's the Magic up by 16. 2K Sports back in a moment from the Amway Center. And let's take this chance now to show you the State Farm assist of the game.
Just true artistry right there. I mean, great decision on where to go with the ball, and how about the perfect delivery?
We call that, Greg, putting it right in the pocket, and he knew what to do with it once it was there.
And we reach the fourth quarter in a game that may be already out of hand. Raptors trail by 16. Gordon down low with Bamba next to him. Terrence Ross is out there with DJ Augustine, and it's Fournier in at the 3 slot. That's who's out there for Orlando.
Well, how about the presence in the post by Kyle Lowry in the face of some pretty good defense? That was a tough conversion.
Augustine passes to Bamba. Back to Augustine. Banked in off the glass.
And you have to admire his focus. Not a good matchup for him in terms of size differential.
No, but that play is about his will, right? He won't back down from the big man. He's going to take it right to him.
Here's Lowry, and he drops it in from the low post. Lowry's got 4 points now in the quarter.
Kevin, put the ball in Kyle Lowry's hand in a pick and roll, and he will pull all the right strings.
Lowry against Augustine. Fournier for 3. The shot will not fall. And Toronto will come the other way. Deflects the pass. Baseline J on the way. And good, as it just snugs right down through the net.
The scarier thought for any opponent is Kyle Lowry finding his rhythm. He's been in one today.
And Augustine kicks to Gordon. We've gone about a minute and a half into the fourth quarter. Shot clock at 5, and it goes out of bounds. Last touch by Lowry. Al-Farouq Aminu. He's checked in for Fournier. Uncovered. That's good from Augustine. The assist by Aminu. And the Magic lead by 14.
Boy, that's a bang-bang play on the inbounds pass. I like those quick hitters.
And the Raptors call time here.
Well, I mean, he needs to talk to his guys. The interior defense has been horrific.
Absolutely no rim protection whatsoever. At this point, the other team is walking all over them on the inside.
And we've got an update here, so let's check in with David Aldridge reporting from the sideline.
Hi, guys. During that last break, I heard what the Raptors coach told to his team. He is not pleased, and he told them they have to make a push right now. He said, look, we got to make a move, or I've got to pull the plug. Good blunt stuff, Kevin. Back to you.
Ross with the steal. And oh, here we go with Ross. Nobody back. And Ross with the slam.
How about that tremendous defense leading to points? Ross stays alert, makes the steal, and goes right on the attack.
Raptors trail by 16. Lowry kicks to Ibaka. Over Aminu. It's deflected. And he's going up for the alley-oop.
Boy, don't you love to see Aaron Gordon make these kinds of decisions. This guy is fully capable of recognizing open teammates.
And it's Lowry with the ball. Brings it up for the Toronto Raptors. Pass to Gasol. That's his 6th field goal today, and that makes him now 6 for 11.
And that's what the pump fake's there for. Get your man off his feet and drive right around him.
Augustine against Lowry. Down low. Here's Gordon, and it's Gordon finishing it off.
How effortless is a dunk for Aaron Gordon? He's ready for takeoff, gentlemen. Raptors
trail by 18. Now Lowry, the pass to Powell. Pass to Anunoby. 5 to shoot. Over Gordon, and it's blocked by Gordon. And they force the shot clock violation. Great D. Magic leading by 18. Augustine passes to Aminu. Back to Augustine. And it's off from three-point range. The Raptors have gotten 4 of their 6 shots to fall so far here in the fourth. A pretty nice efficiency there. The Magic have gone 5 of 7 from the field since the beginning of the fourth. Strong work at that end of the floor. Kicks it to Aminu. Over Ibaka. Aminu misses.
Well, yeah, I mean, you want to give your offense a chance, and that possession didn't do it.
Not at all, Greg. I mean, no reason for him to be taking these kinds of shots. He has only himself to blame.
Loving the toughness there from Bamba. Just needs to keep proving that he's not to be messed with.
Raptors trail by 20. And it's DJ Augustine with the foul. That'll be his second foul of the game. Doris, when you view international basketball, 13 and 14-year-olds playing in academies, some players turning pro overseas at 16, would something like that work in this country?
You know what, Kevin? I'm not necessarily for something like this. What I do believe is the NBA could become more involved across the board, and we should have more uniformity in basketball in general. And I think one of the ways to do that is to make sure we set up some sort of basketball committee across the different levels of basketball, starting with youth, going to high school, into college, then the semi-professional sort of basketball leagues out there, or the formative leagues like the G League, and then the NBA. I think we just need to look at the game in its totality and create some measure of uniformity. But frankly, I don't love the idea of 13 and 14-year-olds leaving their home to go to, quote, sport academies.
And out of bounds as the Raptors gain possession.
Well, just loses his head for a moment. That's not overthinking. That's just not thinking.
The Magic making a switch here. Fultz is checked in. Siakam is checked in for Toronto. Lowry finds Gasol. And it's Mohamed Bamba with the foul. That's his third foul of the game. Here's Siakam. And that one clearly a foul. Gets the whistle, and 2 shots coming up. That's on Al-Farouq Aminu. Siakam far from the most skilled player on the floor, but Dorsey finds minutes through his hustle.
This guy has got one of the highest motors in the league. He can leak out in transition, finish in the open floor. I'll tell you, this is a jolt of caffeine in a power forward's body.
That free throw, no good. G League last season experimenting, Doris, with coaches' challenges of certain calls during games. Do you see that perhaps moving over as well to the NBA?
Kevin, my understanding on this is that across NBA ownership, there is real momentum to allow for a coach's challenge. And I think it's commonplace to see teams argue a call. When it's all said and done, we want to get things correct. And so maybe you see this happen in the G League. And what's the carryover to the NBA? I don't know, but I can tell you unequivocally, ownership wants to see a coach's challenge in the NBA at some point.
And I think, Doris, anytime you can make those coaches do more, put more on the line, just adds to the intrigue of the game.
No question.
It's tipped.
And physically, there's no doubt they've been the stronger team. A +10 rebound advantage tells you all you need to know.
Bamba dishes to Fultz. Passes it to Aminu. For 3, Ross. And no good that time.
Just not there from a rhythm standpoint right now. It's really eluding him.
Now here's Powell. And foul on the shot. He'll shoot 2 at the free throw line. Here's a look at what's coming up for Toronto. On Sunday, the Chicago Bulls come into town, tipping off a homestand for them. And then on Tuesday, they'll be matching up against Rudy Gobert and the Utah Jazz.
And for that game against the Spurs, that's going to be one where it would take a lot of errors and maybe a cold shooting night for things to go wrong. They just have that much of an advantage over that team.
And he ends up missing both free throws. Doris, this term +6 coming into the lexicon describes a player whose wingspan exceeds his height by at least 6 inches. I know you've heard that before.
Yeah, well, we can think of several players who fit this description of the +6. Electric young players like Donovan Mitchell, Kawhi Leonard, the claw. The claw extends to his wingspan as well. And then Draymond Green, who in the fourth quarter defensively can seem like a player who's everywhere at every moment.
Lowry kicks to Gasol. Pass to Powell. Clock at 4. Back to Gasol. It's stolen by Aminu. Now here's Fultz. Lowry covering. Here's Gordon. And then Gordon with the dunk.
Well, the offensive game of Aaron Gordon continues to improve, and when he's feeling it, he stays aggressive.
Toronto's gotten off to an 0-for-2 start from downtown here in the fourth quarter. Now here's Lowry, guarded by Fultz. Lowry passes to Gasol. It's tipped. Shot clock at 5. Here's Anunoby. That one wide left.
Well, he's trying to shoot his way out of this slump, but it's not helping his team. That was an awful quarter.
Ross for 3. Gets the three-pointer to fall. Ross has got 11 points here in just the second half. Outside Lowry. Left side Gasol. Shoots over Bamba. Gasol's shot is good. Gasol's got 4 points in the quarter.
And through the years, he's become very confident in that shot. Gasol's almost better from mid-range than he is in tight. That's a great weapon for a 7-footer to have.
Gordon kicks to Ross. Bamba with it, working on Gasol. Bamba dishes to Ross. Shoots over Powell, and good. Got the friendly bounce off the right side of the rim. 15 points for Terrence Ross. The Raptors have gone 5 of 12 from the field entering the fourth quarter. Outside Lowry. To the middle. Here's Siakam. The shot's good on the assist by Lowry. Lowry's got assist number 8 here in this one already. Orlando's gone into a funk from downtown in the fourth. Only one of their 5 3-pointers has found the bottom of the bucket. Aminu with it. Magic moving the ball around. Deep 2 from Ross. No good on the shot, a bit long that time. For Toronto, they've gone 6 of 13, so just above 46% on their field goal attempts here in the quarter. The G League, Doris, growing roster of teams, introduced 2-way contracts last season. Is it safe to call it a official minor league at this point, do you think?
Well, I'm just going to say that I thought this was one of the best changes to the NBA last season. And you look at certain players who went back and forth between the G League, and when they were up with the respective NBA team, they were a significant part of the rotation. Quinn Cook comes to mind. The NBA champion had a 2-way player in Quinn Cook, who was a vital part of their G League and then becomes a vital part of their real-time success. To me, what a tremendous platform for player development, Kevin.
Yeah, the league has gotten it right with this. And there's the call on Kyle Lowry. That's foul number 2 for him.
You know what? You've got to always be in control of your emotions.
Here's Aminu. Lays it up and in off the pretty assist.
And some guys just have a nose for scoring. And this one couldn't have been any easier.
Well, really good awareness by the scorer. You're seeing an opening in the defense and exploiting it beautifully.
Lowry against Augustine. Lowry kicks to Ibaka. And Ibaka slams it in.
And how about Ibaka getting off the floor for that dunk? What a great finish.
Lowry against Augustine. Ross in the corner. The pass to Bamba. Over Ibaka. And that'll be 2 free throws coming up. Officials on the call with the foul. Last season, Doris, the NBA hosting 4 regular season games in Mexico, celebrating the 25th anniversary of the NBA playing in Mexico City.
Well, Kevin, you know this. Mexico City is the 5th largest city in the world. You are a geographic expert. This is a gateway to all of Latin America, and the NBA, as always, eager to expand their presence in new markets.
I agree. And the fact, Doris, they're so progressive has just, given them so much new things, revenue, growth avenues to follow. But it just opens up a whole new area where they can grow.
Never rest on your laurels, Kevin. Always work hard, just like the great Kevin Harlan does.
Payne finds Ibaka. That's good from Payne on the assist from Ibaka.
Boy, Ibaka is such a great teammate. This guy is always willing to find the open man.
Augustine looking around. 1:25 left to play in the final quarter. Some solid defense from Johnson. Raptors trail by 21.
And as we head to the final buzzer here, a crushing blowout, big-time dominance, and this will go in the record books as a gaudy win for Orlando.
It was a standout performance across the board.
I mean, it was like watching a cat play with a mouse. They were able to do more or less whatever they wanted.
And this will be a big win for them. Lucky win number 13 now in the bag.
And continued dominance against this team, winning both of their matchups this season.
And a great team effort tonight, helped in large part with contributions, and the nice night it ended up being for Mohamed Bamba.
Boy, I think he made his presence felt in the paint more than anywhere else. This guy's rebounding numbers were outstanding. He controlled the glass.
No good on the free throw. Players going to great lengths to improve their performance and extending their prime years. We're seeing it all over the league. Doris, it amazes me.
I heard a number of LeBron James spending 7 figures a year.
Wow.
That's a 1 in 6 zeros to take care of his body.
No kidding.
Right, making an investment in your future. Understanding nutrition to training to recovery. Listen, you have a limited window, Kevin, to make money with your body if you're a professional athlete. So why you wouldn't want to extend that window as long as possible? You're playing a kid's game for fun, Kevin. Come on, let's lengthen it out if we can.
Take a break. Take a break. 2 shots.
First one falls for him. He's off on the second. There's 49 seconds left in the fourth. Ross with the steal. He kicks to Augustine. Ross against Johnson. No good from Ross.
You know, he's working on his inside game, but clearly there's still a little more work to do.
Augustine from outside. Drills it from outside.
Up by double digits, little time remaining. Way to defend your house.
Well, this is what you call taking care of your business, showing dominance on their home floor. What an excellent effort.
Ibaka, the pass to Hollis Jefferson. Count the basket.
Well, I don't think you can allow Rondé Hollis Jefferson to get into the lane. You're asking for trouble. This guy's a spectacular athlete.
And here is Ross. And so it's Orlando taking this one by a big margin. They won this game going away. They were the better basketball team by far tonight.
And you got to commend this sort of dominance, particularly here at home. It's a great feeling when you play almost a perfect game and to have that crowd be so pumped up.
It's time now to go courtside as we send you over to David Aldridge from the sideline. David, take it away.
Thank you, Kevin. With Evan Fournier. Hey, Evan, does a win like tonight's against this kind of competition show you how far you've come as a team?
Yeah, sure. You know, we obviously showing progress, but we want to be a very good team. We are very ambitious.
Nothing wrong with a little ambition, Evan. Thanks. Back to you, Kevin.
All right, David, great job. Thanks so much. Thank you for joining us. That'll do it for now. For Greg Anthony, Doris Burke, and David Aldridge, this is Kevin Harlan. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next time.